Have you ever wondered about the history of the Assassin's Creed franchise? Grab your favorite hooded cloak, practice your parkour, and keep a leap of faith handy, because we're diving deep into the history, creation, and the meteoric success of one of the most beloved and, longest-running gaming franchises of all time, Assassin's Creed. Since 2007, this Ubisoft series has taken players on a roller coaster ride through history, blending ancient conspiracies, stunning locales, and, of course, copious amounts of stabbing. But how did this historical action-adventure juggernaut come to be? And why are we still climbing towers 17 years later? I'm Keith, and this is History Wonder. Believe it or not, Assassin's Creed started out as an ambitious sequel to the Prince of Persia series. Yes, that's right. If things had gone slightly differently, you'd be leaping off towers and eavesdropping on Templars while controlling the prince himself. Ubisoft Montreal initially planned to make a game called Prince of Persia Assassin, where players would guide a bodyguard protecting the prince. But when the developers realized their bodyguard was more compelling than the actual prince, yikes, they pivoted. Thus Assassin's Creed was born. Instead of a nameless bodyguard, we got Altair ibn Lahad, a master assassin from the Third Crusade area, and the core mechanics of the series, free running, blending in with crowds, and stealth kills were born. The game's director, Patrice Désilets, and his team envisioned an open-world adventure set in real-world historical settings, but with the added twist of a sci-fi framing story involving a modern-day character, Desmond Miles, and his journey into the past using the Animus. And thus, history was made. Pun was actually intended there. When the original Assassin's Creed dropped in 2007, gamers didn't know what hit them. For one, the concept was unlike anything else at the time. It combined historical settings with futuristic sci-fi, bringing together two genres that seemed as mismatched as, an assassin riding a horse across the Holy Land. You played as Altair, sent on a mission to kill high-profile targets and uncover the Templar's sinister plot. Meanwhile, in the present, Desmond Miles was stuck in a lab being forced to relive his ancestor's life in the Animus. The game had its hiccups. Combat could feel a bit clunky, and Altair was a man of few words. Seriously, he was about as talkative as a medieval monk during a vow of silence. But the open-world parkour mechanics were revolutionary, allowing players to scale rooftops and sprint across entire cities like never before. And let's not forget about those beautiful historical settings. Who wouldn't want to take a leisurely or violent stroll through the bustling streets of Jerusalem and Damascus? Despite its repetitive mission structure, how many times did we have to pickpocket someone? The first game was a success, selling over 8 million copies. And that was just the beginning. If Assassin's Creed 1 was the test run, Assassin's Creed 2 was Ubisoft saying, alright, let's do this properly. Enter Ezio Auditore da Firenze, a young, suave Italian nobleman who single-handedly dragged the series from interesting concept to gaming phenomenon. Set during the Italian Renaissance, Assassin's Creed 2 expanded everything that made the game great, while fixing its biggest flaws. Ezio was charismatic, the missions were varied, and most importantly, the game introduced hidden gun technology. Renaissance Italy with pistols? Yep, sign me up. Ezio's trilogy of games, Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, and Revelations, is often regarded as the golden era of the franchise. He not only became the face of the series, but also defined what players expected from an Assassin's Creed protagonist: charm, depth, and an impressive ability to assassinate people while wearing a stylish cape. Brotherhood even introduced multiplayer into the mix, letting you and your friends assassinate each other in various creative ways. Because, honestly, what's more bonding than that? By now, the franchise was on fire, and Ubisoft wasted no time moving forward. In Assassin's Creed 3 in 2012, we were whisked off to the American Revolution, where we played as Connor Kenway, a stoic, half-Mohawk, half-English assassin who took on redcoats, founding fathers, and his own complicated family history. It wasn't the fan favorite like Ezio's saga, but AC3 still made waves, especially with its massive open wilderness and focus on naval combat. More on boats later. Next came Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag in 2013, where Ubisoft basically said, hey, you like the ships? How about we make a whole game about pirates? And it worked. Players took on the role of Edward Kenway, Connor's grandfather and a much rowdier, swashbuckling assassin. The game's emphasis on naval exploration, treasure hunting, and even sea shanties made it an instant classic. It was like Pirates of the Caribbean, but with more stealth kills and fewer Kraken. This era also saw side games like Assassin's Creed Rogue, where you played as a Templar hunting assassins, and Assassin's Creed Unity, set during the French Revolution. While Unity introduced co-op multiplayer and breaking visuals, it was also riddled with bugs. Ever seen a face with no skin, just eyes and a mouth floating eerily on the screen? Yeah, Unity players did. By the mid-2010s, Ubisoft realized that annual releases were wearing the franchise thin, so they hit pause and rethought their approach. The result? A complete reinvention of the series with Assassin's Creed Origins in 2017. Set in ancient Egypt, Origins brought RPG elements into the mix, allowing players to level up, collect loot, and explore a much larger, more vibrant world. Bayek, the game's protagonist, was a Medjay, a protector of the pharaoh, who becomes the first true assassin. The game was a breath of fresh air for fans, proving that Ubisoft could evolve the formula and keep it exciting. Next came Assassin's Creed Odyssey in 2018, which took things even further, transporting players to ancient Greece. For the first time, players could choose between two protagonists, Cassandra or Alexios, and embark on a mythical adventure across the Aegean, kicking Spartans off cliffs and fighting legendary beasts like the Minotaur. Odyssey was massive, almost too massive, honestly, but it solidified the franchise as a full-blown open-world RPG. Then in 2020, Ubisoft released Assassin's Creed Valhalla, because who doesn't love Vikings? Players took on the role of Eivor, a Norse raider who sets out to conquer and settle in England. With its emphasis on Viking culture, brutal combat, and the chance to build your own settlement, Valhalla delivered yet another huge hit for the franchise. Plus, who doesn't love a bit of Norse mythology sprinkled in for good measure? Assassin's Creed Mirage, released in 2023, takes the series back to its roots with a stronger focus on stealth, parkour, and the classic assassination gameplay. Set in 19th century Baghdad during the height of the Islamic Golden Age, the game follows the story of Basim ibn Ishaq, a street thief who rises to become a master assassin. Unlike recent RPG-heavy entries like Odyssey and Valhalla, Mirage emphasized more streamlined, story-driven missions, reminiscent of the early games like Assassin's Creed 2. Players navigate dense urban environments employing stealth and social blending, and the iconic hidden blade to take down targets. Parkour mechanics have also been refined, allowing for smoother and faster movements across rooftops and alleys. Assassin's Creed Shadows marks the 14th entry in the Assassin's Creed series and is the first game to be part of the Assassin's Creed Infinity platform. Set in 16th century Japan during the late Sengoku period, the game explores the age-old conflict between the Assassin Brotherhood, fighting for freedom, and the Templar Order, seeking peace through control. Players experience the story through two protagonists, Naoi, a female shinobi, and Yasuke, an African samurai inspired by the real historical figure. Each character offers a distinct playstyle, allowing for varied approaches to missions and combat. Assassin's Creed Shadows is scheduled to launch on February 14th, 2025. But what makes Assassin's Creed so successful? Well, aside from the whole historical action blending with stabbing thing, it's the franchise's ability to adapt. Ubisoft isn't afraid to reinvent the wheel when needed. Whether it's pirates, Vikings, or ancient gods, each game brings something fresh to the table, while maintaining the core appeal of blending history with a healthy dose of conspiracy and action. Additionally, the franchise has been smart about keeping the gameplay mechanics evolving, whether through naval combat, RPG elements, or simply improving how many guards you can shove off a rooftop at once. And let's not forget the thrill of exploring iconic historical settings. It's not often you can say, yeah, I killed a guy in the Acropolis, and then swim over to a naval battle. Today, Assassin's Creed is one of the most successful video game franchises in history, with more than 155 million copies sold worldwide. From Jerusalem to London, Egypt to Norway, Ubisoft has consistently given players a chance to explore breathtaking worlds steeped in history. And yet it's not over. With the upcoming titles like Assassin's Creed Mirage, which promises a return to the franchise's stealthy roots, and Assassin's Creed Infinity, a rumored live-action platform, Ubisoft is ensuring that the Creed lives on. In the end, the success of Assassin's Creed lies in its mix of engaging historical narratives, addictive gameplay, and its ability to make history fun and stabby. And while Desmond Miles' story may have ended, R.I.P. Desmond, The franchise continues to intrigue us all. Thanks for watching. What topics in history have you wondered about? Comment below and let us know what videos you would like to see. And be sure to like and subscribe.